Hey everybody, it's Steve of Thousand Year Homes. And what will make me not last 1,000 years is a drought where I'm out of water. I'm in a dry cabin off grid. So I've been getting by with my stock tanks, but no rain all spring, no rain, appreciable rain since November of last year. I'm talking hundredths of an inch since then. In addition, the spring's been 90, 92, 98. I had a 98. It's as hot as August. I think this is going to turn into desert. And that's just the way it's going to be. I remember reading years ago that the conquistadors, when they came through this part of Texas on the Royal Road, they called it a desert. And that stood out to me, a desert. And listen, conquistadors, Spain would know what a desert was. So anyway, let's talk about how I'm going to do this. There's an IBC tote, 250, 275 gallon tote on the back. Let me rotate. My generous neighbor offered me to fill up my tote from his spigot on his well there, and then lock his well up as he's gone. So as I take a look at that, you'll see that if I fill that all the way up at 1,600 pounds or more, it's behind the wheels. I am not going on the road. I'm cutting through the forest, so it's no big deal for me. But I've got a little weight in the front here in the way of concrete, a little bit more concrete there. As I'm filling it, if I see a lot of tension on that on that bulge, I will stop, because the last thing I want is it lifting up my truck and causing problems. Now I can, with that much weight, put it in the back of my truck, but both trucks are filled up right now with concrete. I never move concrete more than I have to, so that concrete's staying there until I do the project, which may be today. Anyway, I'll get all that wood done or all that water done, and we'll take a look. Leah's fish, they have had lots of food already, so I bet you they won't gather up. Oh no, they're gonna eat right out of your hand. Well, for those of you who've been watching the channel, that's my Archimedes bridge. You saw earlier last year, as I finished that project, it started dry, ended up getting flooded in November, had like 2 inches of rain in a couple hours, which was enough to cause a little flooding and fill this up. So the high spot for the water is where that stick was, and so it's dropped down. It was over that row of stones that I put in there. Beginning to look pretty thin. Yesterday, this little muddy spot right here, which I can use to drive through when it's bone dry, that was underwater. Today I see the horses walk through it and it is exposed. Bet you that was a disappointment to them. Let's take a look at the other stock pond. All right, so here's my problem. This is my big stock pond, and the horses can't even do anything out of that. I'm hoping that it dries out and I could dig it out another 8 foot, and that'll make a difference. So that pipe right there is high point. So let me repeat again. That's high point for water. There you go, y'all. Water's going to be a major problem in Texas. Major problem on this ranch, that's for sure. So anyway, I remember I remember reading when Cortez and the conquistadors came through this part of Texas on a road they called El Camino Royal. And you could still go take it, right? The Royal Road. But looky, the King's Road is what it is. But looky, so they called it a desert. The conquistadors called this part of Texas a desert. Listen, they were from Spain. They knew what deserts looked like. And it stuck with me when I read that the world can get a lot drier, and folks have seen it drier. I've seen old pictures where there wasn't anything like growing, in Texas and Arizona. If you look at old pictures, it's pretty dry. I'm normally better than this at checking my equipment, and this tire's pretty far down right here. It might even be flat. So I don't know how much water I'll put in there. About 1/8 right now is in it. We'll see. And then, as I mentioned before, it's got the teeter-tottery part. So, the 1,600 pounds there, and I've only got a little bit offset over here, and I don't know. We'll find out. I don't have to fill it all the way up. All right, so just doing halfway so I could go fill up the horse trough for them. I want to see how long the horse trough lasts. That tire is officially flat. We'll get that aired up. Normally I check all those. Well, for those of you who might be worried I'm on the road with a flat tire and a few 100 pounds of water and a weird trailer set up, there you go. It is the woods.
It's very pretty. Don't mind the dust.
Don't mind the dust. All right, there's the view behind. I gotta dodge these tree branches. All right, so it's doing all right. Tree branches, but we'll fill that up, kind of air up the tire, and come back. All right, we're back on my ranch. So the goal is to pick this up with the Mahindra. I've got a 2,000 pound capacity at that pivot point. I see I could push this tote in a little farther too. I've got another couple of feet. As driving, I could hear it go clunka, 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 so it is teeter-tottering. We'll get air in that tire. That'll help with that. Let's give this a whirl. All right, well, what I don't want to do is tip this tractor over on its face with me on it. So I'm not cutting sharp. I'm going to back out slow, pull in, and then raise it up. And I don't think I'm at my limit, but it wouldn't pivot. It was right, like it wouldn't pivot. So, and those capacities, when they measure them, it's right at that joint. So you got to be careful that you don't get beyond that, you know. Oh, it'll pick up 2,000 pounds. Well, no, it won't. Right, it won't. All right, I need to go up a little bit. We put it in low granny gear. Sneak up on it. All right, it looks like I'm there. Gonna leave her run so the hydraulics stay pressurized. There we go. Now, I will admit I've had an occasional good neighbor, which I've always appreciated, but this neighborhood that I have is superior to all neighborhoods I've ever been in. And I'll tell you, I count that like money in the bank. You know, neighbors that, you know, I've got perfect neighbors. And listen, it's so kind of them to allow me to do this. No good deed goes unpunished is what I say. And, you know, whenever you share your life a little bit, you'll always cost you a little bit, and the reward has to be in the giving, right? But in this particular case, I might be able to get through this drought. Now, I don't know how long it'll take the company to put in a tap there. I mean, literally, it's 12 feet away from the end of the line. So, you know, I'm not a big deal. Not a big deal to me. There might be 1,000 homes ahead of me. It might be 2 years out. I don't know. But I'll figure something out from this point forward. So, alrighty. I'm going to guess that's a 114 gallon tank, 150 gallon tank. We'll see. Half of it's gone. Keep going. You know, I've been a dry cabin going on 2 years. I missed the blessing of water, Leah.
Yeah, I forgot what you asked me, so I brought you a ho-ho.
Well, that'll do. So we might have guessed close.
Yeah, so we were. We probably filled 2 of those.
Yeah.